The life of Olivia Newton-John was filled with music, success, love, and also many personal struggles that the world did not always see. For decades, fans knew her as the cheerful star who sang beautiful songs and appeared in some of the most loved musical films in history. But behind the bright stage lights and smiling photographs, she was also a woman who faced many difficult moments. When she passed away in August 2022 at the age of 73, people around the world felt the loss deeply. For months after her passing, her husband John Easterling stayed mostly quiet. Later, he began sharing emotional memories about her final days, describing the choices she made about her health, the love she showed to her family, and the peaceful way she faced the end of her life. His words helped fans understand a side of Olivia that few people had seen before. Olivia Newton-John was born on September 26, 1948, in Cambridge, England. Her family background was filled with remarkable stories. Her father, Brinley Newton-John, was a respected professor and scientist. During World War II, he worked secretly at Bletchley Park, where British experts worked to break enemy codes. His work helped the Allies understand important military messages during the war. Olivia's mother, Irene, also came from an interesting family. Her father was the famous physicist Max Born, who played an important role in the development of quantum physics and later received a Nobel Prize. Because of the rise of the Nazis in Germany, the family had to leave their home and escape to safety. Even though Olivia grew up surrounded by people connected to science and history, her childhood itself felt normal and quiet. When Olivia was 5 years old, her family moved across the world to Melbourne, Australia. Her father accepted a teaching job at the University of Melbourne, and the family started a new life there. Australia soon became the place where Olivia discovered her love for music and performing. Even as a young girl, she enjoyed singing and appearing in small shows. At 15, she entered a television talent competition called Sing, Sing, Sing. Competing against many other young singers, Olivia impressed the judges with her calm voice and natural charm. She won the contest, and the prize was a trip to Britain. That moment would quietly begin the journey that eventually turned her into one of the most loved performers in the world. After winning the television contest in Australia, the young Olivia Newton-John began to believe that a career in music might truly be possible. She soon left school to focus on singing and performing. At first, the journey was not easy. She joined a small group called Soul 4 with her friend Pat Carroll and started performing in local clubs and on television shows around Melbourne. These performances helped her gain experience and confidence, but success did not come overnight. The group rehearsed in small spaces and performed wherever they could find an audience. During these early years, Olivia developed the calm stage presence and warm voice that would later become her signature style. Even when things felt uncertain, she kept moving forward because she believed music was her true path. In 1965, Olivia traveled to the United Kingdom using the prize trip she had won from the television competition. London was an exciting place for young musicians at that time, but it was also very competitive. Many talented singers were trying to build careers, and it was difficult for a newcomer to stand out. Olivia signed her first recording contract with Decca Records and released her first single. Unfortunately, the song did not attract much attention, and critics quickly dismissed it. For a while, Olivia struggled to find steady work. She often performed in small clubs and music venues just to earn enough money to survive. Some nights, she even slept on friends' floors because she could not afford rent. Her father worried about her future and encouraged her to return home to Australia, but Olivia refused to give up on her dream. During these challenging years, she began working with musicians connected to the famous singer Cliff Richard and his band, The Shadows. These connections slowly opened new doors for her in the music industry. Producers began to notice the gentle, emotional quality of her voice. In 1971, she released the song If Not For You, which became her first major success and helped introduce her to listeners in both Britain and the United States. The song climbed the charts and marked the beginning of a new chapter in her life. For the first time, Olivia felt that the years of hard work and uncertainty were finally leading somewhere important. As the early 1970s continued, the career of Olivia Newton-John began to grow quickly. After the success of If Not For You, Her soft and emotional singing style started to attract a wide audience. Listeners appreciated the warmth in her voice and the gentle feeling of her songs. Soon she released more music that climbed the charts, including the popular hit Let Me Be There. This song became especially important because it crossed over into country music charts in the United States. At that time, country music had a strong traditional culture, and many fans believed the genre should stay true to its roots. Olivia, however, came from a pop music background and was born in England and raised in Australia. Because of this, some people in the country music community questioned whether she truly belonged in that world. Despite the criticism, Olivia continued to gain recognition. In 1974, she won the Female Vocalist of the Year award from the Country Music Association. This victory caused a major debate within the industry. Some traditional country artists believed that the award should have gone to singers who had spent their entire careers in country music. A few musicians even helped create a group called the Association of Country Entertainers to protest the decision. Letters and complaints appeared in magazines and newspapers, and some radio stations refused to play her music. However, the controversy did not slow down Olivia's success. In fact, it made more people curious about her songs, and record sales continued to rise. During the same period, Olivia released one of her most famous songs, I Honestly Love You. The song became her first major #1 hit on the pop charts and earned her 2 Grammy Awards. The emotional ballad touched listeners around the world and showed that her voice could connect deeply with people from many different backgrounds. While critics continued to debate where her music belonged, fans simply enjoyed the beauty of her songs. Olivia herself remained calm throughout the controversy. Rather than arguing with critics, she focused on recording new music and performing for audiences. This quiet determination helped her move beyond the debate and continue building a career that would soon expand far beyond the music world. By the late 1970s, the popularity of Olivia Newton-John had grown far beyond the world of music. Producers in Hollywood began to notice her talent and believed she could also succeed on the big screen. At first, Olivia felt unsure about acting. Earlier in her career, she had appeared in a small film called Tomorrow, which did not perform well at the box office. Because of that experience, she worried that another movie might fail again. For a time, she turned down film offers and continued focusing mainly on her music career. However, everything changed when she was offered the role of Sandy in the musical film Grease. At first, Olivia hesitated. She was already in her late 20s and worried she might be too old to play a high school student. She also wondered whether audiences would accept her in such a major acting role. The producers arranged a screen test with John Travolta, who had already become famous for his television and film performances. The moment they appeared together on screen, their chemistry was obvious. The producers immediately saw that the pairing worked perfectly. To help Olivia feel more comfortable, the character of Sandy was rewritten as an Australian student, allowing her to keep her natural accent. When Grease was released in 1978, it became one of the most successful musical films ever made. Audiences loved the story, the music, and especially the charming relationship between Sandy and Danny. The songs from the movie quickly became hits, and the film turned Olivia into an international superstar. One of the most memorable moments came near the end of the film when Sandy appeared in a bold new outfit, surprising audiences who had only known Olivia for her sweet and gentle image. The transformation scene became one of the most iconic moments in movie history. After the success of Grease, Olivia's fame reached a completely new level. She was no longer only a successful singer. She had become a global entertainment icon whose work was loved by millions of fans around the world. After the enormous success of Grease, the career of Olivia Newton-John continued to move in many different directions. She starred in another musical fantasy film called Xanadu. The movie itself received mixed reviews from critics and did not perform as strongly in theaters as many had expected. However, the music from the film became extremely popular. Songs from the soundtrack were played constantly on the radio and helped keep Olivia at the center of pop culture. Soon after, she released the song Physical, which became one of the biggest hits of her entire career. The song stayed at #1 on the charts for weeks and introduced a new, more energetic image for Olivia. The music video even helped inspire a fitness trend during the early 1980s. During this period, Olivia's personal life also began to change. While working on Xanadu, she became close to a dancer named Matt Lattanzi, who had worked as her dance double during filming. Even though he was younger than her, the two developed a strong connection. After several years of dating privately, they married in December 1984 during a quiet ceremony on a beach in Florida. The couple later moved to Australia, hoping to live a calmer life away from the intense attention of Hollywood. In 1986, they welcomed their daughter, Chloe Lattanzi. Becoming a mother brought Olivia great happiness, and she spent much of her time focusing on raising her daughter and building a peaceful home. However, life was not always easy. In 1992, Olivia received shocking news when doctors diagnosed her with breast cancer at the age of 44. The diagnosis came shortly after the heartbreaking loss of her young goddaughter to cancer, making the moment even more painful. Olivia began treatment quickly, undergoing surgery and chemotherapy. The process was physically exhausting, but she faced the challenge with determination and courage. During this difficult time, she tried to keep life as normal as possible for her young daughter. Although she eventually recovered and entered remission, the experience changed her deeply. It also began a long and complicated health journey that would continue for many years. The cancer diagnosis in 1992 became one of the most important turning points in the life of Olivia Newton-John. After surgery and chemotherapy, she slowly regained her strength and entered remission around 1994. The experience changed the way she looked at life. Instead of focusing only on her career, she began thinking more deeply about health, healing, and helping other people who were facing similar struggles. She started speaking openly about her experience with breast cancer and encouraged women to pay attention to their health and go for regular medical checkups. Many fans admired her honesty and courage, and she became an important voice in raising awareness about cancer. Around the same time, Olivia's personal life was also going through changes. In 1995, she and her husband Matt Lattanzi decided to end their marriage after more than a decade together. They explained that the separation was peaceful and that they both wanted what was best for their daughter, Chloe Lattanzi. Although the divorce was difficult, Olivia chose to focus on healing and moving forward. She continued performing music and gradually returned to touring, reconnecting with the fans who had supported her for many years. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Olivia faced another emotional challenge when she began a relationship with cameraman Patrick McDermott. The relationship lasted several years, but in 2005 a shocking event occurred. Patrick disappeared during a fishing trip off the coast of California. When the boat returned to shore, he was missing, and no one had seen exactly what had happened. Authorities searched the ocean for days, but were unable to find him. The case remained a mystery, and many rumors later appeared suggesting different possibilities about his disappearance. For Olivia, the situation was heartbreaking and confusing. She publicly shared that she did not know the truth about what had happened, but that she continued to care deeply about him. Despite these emotional hardships, Olivia continued to build a life focused on positivity. She became deeply involved in charity work and helped support cancer treatment programs, especially in Australia. Her experiences had taught her the importance of compassion, and she wanted to use her fame to make a real difference in the lives of others who were facing illness and uncertainty. As the years passed, the life of Olivia Newton-John continued to be shaped by both hope and hardship. After many years of living cancer-free, she received difficult news again in 2013 when doctors discovered that the disease had returned. This time a tumor had appeared in her shoulder. Olivia chose to keep the diagnosis, mostly private, while she quietly went through treatment. Even while facing this challenge, she tried to stay positive and continued working on music and charity projects. She believed strongly that emotional strength and a hopeful mindset were important parts of healing. During interviews, she often spoke about the need to care for the whole person, not just the illness. Unfortunately, more challenges appeared a few years later. In 2017, Olivia began experiencing severe back pain that forced her to cancel several concerts. Medical tests later revealed that the cancer had spread to the bones in her spine. This meant that the disease had reached an advanced stage. Even with this serious news, Olivia refused to give up on life. She continued to appear in public, share encouraging messages with fans, and speak about the importance of faith, positivity, and supportive treatment. Instead of relying only on traditional medicine, she also explored natural therapies and pain management methods. One treatment that helped her manage the pain was medical cannabis, which she said allowed her to remain clear-minded and comfortable. At the same time, her family was facing their own struggles. Her daughter, Chloe Latanzi, was dealing with serious personal difficulties, including addiction, anxiety, and eating disorders. Growing up as the child of a famous star brought heavy pressure, and Chloe later spoke openly about how difficult that experience had been for her. Olivia stayed close to her daughter during those painful years and supported her through treatment and recovery. Slowly, Chloe began rebuilding her life and eventually spoke about her sobriety journey and mental health awareness. Through all of these challenges, Olivia remained a loving mother and a symbol of resilience. She continued to believe that even during the darkest moments, kindness, hope, and family support could help people find their way forward again. In August 2022, the long and courageous journey of Olivia Newton-John finally came to an end. After nearly 30 years of living with breast cancer and its repeated returns, she passed away peacefully at her home in California at the age of 73. Her death deeply touched millions of fans around the world who had followed her music and films for decades. In the months that followed, many people wondered what her final days had truly been like. Her husband, John Easterling, eventually began sharing emotional details that helped fans understand how she spent her last moments. According to him, Olivia remained calm, aware, and surrounded by love during her final days. John explained that Olivia had made careful choices about how she wanted to manage her illness. After years of undergoing traditional treatments such as surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation, she decided that the most important thing for her was maintaining a good quality of life. She used medical cannabis to help control pain caused by cancer that had spread to her spine and sacrum. According to John, this approach allowed her to remain clear-minded and emotionally present with the people she loved. She wanted to spend meaningful time talking with family, sharing memories, and enjoying the peaceful environment of their home rather than feeling heavily sedated by strong medications. Her daughter, Chloe Latanzi, later revealed that her mother's final clear words to her were, "My sunshine." The phrase reflected the deep love Olivia always felt for her daughter. John also shared that Olivia remained grateful and hopeful even near the end of her life. She often spoke about the importance of continuing the work of her wellness center in Australia, which supports cancer patients with both medical treatment and emotional care. After her passing, family members also mentioned small, mysterious moments they experienced, such as unusual lights appearing in photographs and objects moving gently in their home. Whether these events had simple explanations or deeper meaning, they reminded them of Olivia's